Hey, it's Haaseline Entertainment. We got a great show today. Got a really great guy that I've known for a long time, a great health fitness guy, producer, martial arts, just tremendous passion for the big screen. And we're going to talk a little bit about sponsorships and things that we can do to get on with one of his projects. I'm going to let him in the room right now, so hang on one second. Um, all right, James Jefferson. James, are you there?
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Hey, just had a lot going on around here. I had a problem with my phone. Now we're back on. I just got to plug it in. We're good to go. Sorry about that.
Just you're going to show us any video, or are you just going to have your name up there?
Hold on. Where do I hit video?
All right.
I'm looking where I hit it. Start video. There we go. Now we're good.
Hey, there he is, James Jefferson.
Hey, I'm here.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Let me get a nice scripture in the background here. There we go. Look, we got.
Perfect. So before we get started, how have you been?
Blessed. Feeling blessed.
There you go. Well, I've been kind of pumping you up here before you came on. I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. We've had a lot of great actors and people in the business, and we also have had some great business people, and you're one of them. So I'm glad I finally got to get some time with you. I know that you and I have worked on together on a few things, or trying to get certain things off the ground. But tell us what you're doing right now, with your life, and then we'll kind of delve into a couple of things that you and I have been beating around for a while.
Well, as always, for the last 35 years, I've been heavily involved in the fitness industry, doing a lot of training, helping people transform their bodies, physically, mentally, spiritually. Have a private training dojo here in Medford, New Jersey.
Right.
The Lord has provided an amazing setup for me. I have a private facility on my property next to my home in a beautiful 4 acres of woods. And, I'm blessed with it. So every day I train about 12 to 16 hours of personal training in a private studio. We do some martial arts, some Muay Thai, weight training, all that stuff. And, that's been, what's been supporting me as I build the dream of Warrior Island over the last decade as well.
And so you're still running that through your company, Global Proving Grounds? Is that still?
No. Medford Core. Medford Core is the name of the personal training business.
Okay.
I'm in Medford, New Jersey. And the Warrior Island is its own separate entity now. It actually bought all the Global Proving Ground assets.
Okay.
So its own corporation now, and we're very excited.
Well, very good. I know that you currently have a home for the Warrior Island Fight Nights, which is on the DuPont network. I believe every Saturday at 8:00. Is that correct?
Yeah, Saturday nights, 8 p.m. We're on it's season 1 of Saga 1. This is the 13th episode tonight at 8 Eastern time. It's also on demand as well as live, which is you can watch that on Roku. You can watch that on the Amazon Fire. You can watch that live on DuPontNow.com.
Gotcha. And one of the things I've always admired about you, James, is that your passion is beyond the rainbow. I mean, you really are always been passionate about everything. I know a lot of that is based on your spiritual passion and your love for health and wellness. But amazingly, Warrior Island, why don't you give us a little idea, if you can? I know you're an executive producer, and I know some of this stuff is still privy, but if you can you, for the audience, explain what's going on now with the fight nights, and then how does that transcend into the docuseries Warrior Island?
Absolutely. Let me just turn Alexa off. Alexa, off. Don't want to give you any background noise you didn't need there.
No worries.
Yeah, Island, what we decided was, because this is a journey. Hold on. Alexa, off. This is a journey. So we have a saga, and the saga is made up of 3 seasons. Season 1 of the saga is the 15 episodes of 70 fighters that are competing and fighting against each other to win the fans' votes. It's an elimination style show from beginning to end. So in the very beginning, the fans watch the fights. They look for things they like in certain fighters. Doesn't have to be the winner, could be the loser. They may see a character or someone that has something that they like. They show good sportsmanship or just something about them. They like them and they vote for them. They can vote up to 10 times per day, and unlimited on Tuesdays, Super Tuesdays. They can vote as much as they want. We have a really nice voting platform that they can log in with any of their mobile devices. So these 15 episodes, we've got tens of thousands of votes at this point, and it's exciting. We have the top 5 fighters. We're going to have a selection show in about 3-4 weeks from now. We're going to have a selection show. So after the 15 episodes, the top 16 fighters, made up of the ones from this show and then a previous YouTube selection a few years back, these top 16 fighters and 2 wildcard alternates will be training and living their lives over the next year at their home, their gym, their work. And in each episode of season 2 of Saga 1, fans are going to get to meet 1 or 2 of these fighters, get to meet who they are, find out what kind of a person they are, what this show means to them, what their craft of martial arts or mixed martial arts means to them, and start to learn about the individual person that they voted on. And they may even decide that they like a different fighter more. So over the 15 weeks of learning about the fighters in season 2 of Saga 1, we're going to learn about these fighters. And then there's going to be a moment where Red Ninjas secretly deliver a scroll inviting these fighters to travel secretly to Warrior Island, which is a mysterious island, which we'll get to next. And if you think about some of the emotion you get when you think about movies like Enter the Dragon or TV shows like Survivor and the excitement of reality shows like American Idol, we've put it all together. The docu-series, the elimination style TV, the rich, amazing filming of a mysterious island in blue ocean and tropical mystery, put all of it together. And that's where we will end up on season 3 of Saga 1, which is filming of these fighters being trained on a mysterious island by some of the greatest grandmasters of martial arts from all over the world in Kung Fu, karate, Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, Kung Fu. I mean, every kind of martial art you can imagine. We even have the SEAL team coming to train them. Wow. So they'll be training and competing. And it's not a cage. It's not a ring. It's in jungle, caves, water, ocean, sand. I like to kind of, if you watched the movie Kill Bill and you saw how she trained with Pai Mei, old school, old fashioned kind of training. But mainly the whole series, the whole saga is about making this world a better place by taking the aggressive warriors and then teaching them the Tiki Code. The Tiki Code is based on an ancient code of martial arts, which teaches empathy, honesty, integrity. We have 15 different tenets that will teach them to be a better human being. People are born with aggression. You're never going to take the fighter out of somebody who's born with it, that has that aggression, but you can teach them a code to teach them. It's much more powerful to pick somebody up than it is to knock them down. And, if you remember that book, My Bodyguard, the book and movie back in the 70s, My right. Bodyguard, you had one bully against another bully by the end of the TV show or the movie. And this is what it is. We're going to knock the bully out of them. But there'll be competitions, there'll be fights, there'll be fan interaction. One of our executive producers, executive director, Ben Perry, and Steve Tornabini, we've actually had conversations over the last decade about some of the fan interaction during the filming. Can you imagine you have a fighter that's not learning, not doing what he should be, being a real jerk, and all of a sudden the fans are not liking this, the grandmasters are not liking this, so we take a little bit of food away. Maybe we wake them up in the middle of the night and give them a little less sleep. Maybe we show them if you don't learn the code and you don't follow the rules, you're not getting extra support. And on the other hand, you have a fighter that's learning the Tiki Code, doing what he's supposed to. Maybe he gets a massage. Maybe he gets an extra protein shake. Maybe he gets more sleep. Maybe he gets an extra 2 hours training with Renzo Gracie or Ron Van Cleef, the Black Dragons, who give him an edge. So there's a positive reward physically, mentally, nutritionally for learning the code. I mean, we can go back as far as Pavlov's dogs if we have to, or Skinner's rats.
Right.
You behave right, you learn, you evolve as a warrior, you get benefits, you get advantages.
Well,
You
hey,
can,
James, I know that you have mentioned a bunch of grandmasters, and I know you've been working on this. Like any great project, there's a length of years here that we all would love things to go quicker, but we know this business well enough that it's a progression of a lot of people, a lot of energy. Well, who are some of I was involved in some early phone calls with you a long time ago. Who are some of the names you can share with us that are involved, have been maybe, and are going to be involved in Warrior Island?
well, what's wonderful is from the very beginning, everyone has stayed with it. Whether it be full-time, part-time, or from the side, we've gotten unbelievable support from our executive director, Ben Perry, one of our executive producers, Steve Tornabini. And if you don't know who those people are, Ben Perry was one of the original inventors of the UFC. But go back even further, he got his black belt in Kung Fu from Bruce Lee, actually dated Bruce Lee's wife after Bruce had passed years later, went and got his black belt in jiu-jitsu from Hoist Gracie.
Wow.
Tornabini, who's executive producer, helped build the UFC's infrastructure of television production early on, and they wouldn't be what they are today if they didn't have him. And then you have our grandmasters, everyone from the Black Dragon, Ron Van Cleef, to Helsing Gracie, the highest ranking jiu-jitsu person on the planet. Henzo Gracie, we have about 20 different grandmasters and masters. We even have UFC legend Dan the Beast Severn, one of the original winners of the original UFC. He's a box wrestler, and he was one of the original tough men back in those 70s ABC tough men contests like Mr. T and all that stuff.
Sure.
We have Don the Dragon Wilson. We have Grandmaster Jose Torres. We have Sifu Chow. We have Sifu Jason Lau, Sifu Cliff. And that's, if you don't know Kung Fu, that's teacher in Kung Fu. But these are grandmasters and masters from all over the world.
Right.
And it just keeps expanding from the very beginning. And to have their input, their support has been extremely powerful. Even Grandmaster Cassell, which will bring a lot of rich soulfulness to the show. And it's just going to be great. I mean, it's just, if you go to the website, warriorisland.com, you can find a lot of the Tiki Code, the masters. You can watch the videos. I mean, this is a 10-year, we're in our 10th year right now.
And, well, I hope that the people that are going to be seeing this, who are in a lot of cases VPs of marketing and people that have great brands, that can come in and play with this great project and all these great names. I mean, James, I don't, if I was back doing the brand thing again, it'd be like a no-brainer to come in and support this project. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I think in today's world, where we see, you can flip on the any device and see a lot of negativity. I think one of the great things about this project is that you a lot of your fighters have had some pretty rough lives and maybe have had some areas where they've made some decisions that haven't helped them. And through what you're doing with Warrior Island and Fight Nights, you're really kind of bringing life and meaning, and as you said, spiritually as well as physically, and in fitness, and just good old mental discipline, I guess, for lack of a better word. What a great project for any brand to want to wrap their arms around, with such positive energy that you're going to have from this show.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I think that with the potential of product placement and brand integration into the productions, we have so much. And if a brand or a product makes sense for these world-class athletes being trained and educated and guided by grandmasters from around the world, I mean, if anyone watches these shows like Cobra Kai, which is breaking all kinds of records of viewership on one of the streaming networks, this is the kind of show that can be bigger than that. I mean, we have real names. Our heroes are real superheroes. They're real people that have been involved in their martial art for 40, 50, 60 years.
Right. No, you got a great history here. And let's talk a little bit about the history of what Warrior Island, obviously it's going to bring a whole new dimension to MMA, and to what we see currently. But I'm an old school boxer lover, and literally we have watched, and from people like yourself, great producers, and great people in this MMA industry. We have seen the fighting industry change right before our eyes, over the last 15, 20 years. When I was growing up, obviously, boxing was where it was at, and we all know that the heavyweight fights were where the money was and where the viewership is. And this MMA piece, and you can see the progression of your vision of what's going to be happening here with as you said, the integration of shows like Survivor and this reality piece, and the energy that you're going to bring. I can just imagine what this island's going to look like. I mean, I'm thinking Jurassic Park. I'm going crazy. I can't wait to see it. But talk a little bit about. I mean, isn't it amazing to you where we've gone from boxing being like the biggest thing in the world, and now all of a sudden we're coming up to Warrior Island to be the next best thing.
Well, boxing, I was a boxer myself. I was a Golden Gloves boxer. I actually spent some time when I was a child with Muhammad Ali. So, I mean, I remember watching all those fights and the heavyweight boxing. Heavyweight boxing, or actually Western boxing, is the martial art of North America. That it was treated that way. It's still there. They're still getting huge numbers in boxing. Boxing will be part of Warrior Island. We will have, I don't know exactly who we'll have there, but I do have connections with 2 or 3 former heavyweight champions and some trainers. So myself, I'm a USA boxing coach. We will have boxing part of the island, but the island's going to really blow people's minds because it's going to be done like nothing else. Our director, Ben Perry, who actually lives right next to Clint Eastwood, by the way, but he has got some great filming ideas with the Navy SEALs, and how we're going to be doing this training and some special camera work done with these trapeze cams and drones and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be amazing. And when you do super slow motion with Phantom Flex cams, and you have a boxing guy on a beach fighting a karate guy, and they're both world class, and you have grandmasters surrounding them, and enemies are fire in a volcano. I mean, who knows? I mean, this stuff's going to be, a solid month of amazing training and film that's just going to blow people's minds. It's something that's never been done before. There'll be no rules, but there'll be some rules, but it's not going to be what you watch on TV today. But most importantly, you touched on this. It's about character. Plain and simple. If a person that's low character, like Conor McGregor from the UFC, he would never survive the island. He would never make it because he has no character, or he would change. I mean, substantially have to change who he is as a human being. And brands do not want to associate themselves with professional athletes that are punching everyday people in the face in bars. They don't want to associate with people that are throwing chairs through buses. They want to associate brands with people who show character, who work with the big brothers and little sisters, who help an old lady across the street, who maybe go help build a house with Jimmy Carter and the Habitat for Humanity. Let's help each other as human beings. Just because you were born with aggression doesn't mean it has to be used for bad.
Right.
You could be a superhero.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've heard Joel Osteen. I don't know if you listen to Joel, but I've heard Joel talk about, I heard him do a sermon once about drug addicts, or drug dealers. And he said, here you are, drug dealers, and you're good salespeople. I just need to transfer that energy from drugs over to positive. And I think that, I again, when I think about brands wanting to be involved with Warrior Island, I'm thinking what brand wouldn't want to be, again, in the situation we're in this world, just still in a pandemic, still in a lot of negativity. What brand wouldn't want to be involved with Warrior Island and watching the transformation, as you say, of these fighters, whether they end up at the end winning or not? I think in this case at Warrior Island, everybody at some point wins in their life.
It's interesting, Doug. You would think these fighters that sometimes walk into an arena where there's 25,000 people or fighting in front of millions of people on a pay-per-view, you think that would be the highlight. But let me tell you, when I hand them one of our 7 issues of our comic books and they see they're a character in a comic book, their face like, oh my gosh, I'm a superhero in a comic book. That's more important to them and more exciting than actually entering a cage to fight for your life.
I was going to get to that, James. Tell us about the comic books, because I know that you have a special message that you try to send in those.
Yeah, early on when we did the comic books, we started doing them because it was costing us about $35 to $60,000 a night to do the live fights. And what we found was that, in between the fights, in between the seasons, we need to have something that was less expensive that could be create a different part of the story in more of a fantasy, but also with a positive message. So the Warrior Island comic books, which are creating comic book 7 and 8 right now, they are a little bit of the show, but also a little bit of fantasy, but also based on reality. And the island's a little more mysterious. There's a little more superpowers, but it does have a lot more ties to an anti-bullying aspect.
Right.
We have in the last issue, there was a bunch of girls who were cyberbullying a girl and then physically bullying her, and then some of the heroes had to come in and step in and try to teach these kids a different way. And there's some good messages in it, but there's also a lot of great battles and awesome fun in the comic book series, which will be a animated series as well.
Nice, nice. And they're really great. So again, where can people get the comic books if they want to get them?
Everything is available at warriorisland.com, both digitally or paperback, as well as all the videos are on warriorisland.com. You can get to all the different platforms. We have new networks asking about us, so it's going to keep growing.
Sure.
We're very lucky that we do this because we love it, not because we have to.
Right.
And have careers, we have jobs. So this has been growing and growing and growing. What's going to happen is someone's going to pull the trigger, a major brand's going to pull the trigger and really dominate our space. And they're going to get all these fans around the world who love this sport and this show.
Yeah.
If you go back to watch the original Survivors, they were very unique at how they put the product integration in between there was an auto dealer, they gave away a car, there was a soda deal, there was an energy drink. This all made sense because these people were thirsty. They were thirsty on an island. Who doesn't want to have their drink, the thing in the person's hand that millions of people are, or they're hungry or,
Well, and I think the interesting thing is you've really done a really great job of all the legwork that has to come with a project, with your website and with the comic books. So when somebody, again, to the brands that are going to be listening to this, when somebody comes and wondering, how to participate, James and the Warrior Island team and James as executive producer have really put a multiple platforms in order for your brand to play not only in the series, but away from the series with all the social media and everything else. I did want to say one thing that James and I have we kind of worked a little bit on this when I just brought up Global Proving Grounds, when that was kind of part of the vision here. And now it's, as James said, it's gone into Warrior Island only. But James and I were working together, and we went and we kind of worked for maybe 2 years, and it was kind of a hiatus on where it was going. And now, of course, it's raising its head again, and it looks like it's ready to do exactly what the vision was. But amazingly, James and I, for 2 years or so, and we chatted quite often. We found something out in our newest revival here, is our love for the Lord. And James and I have connected immensely on that. So James, the spiritual side for me in marketing in my career has been a real transformation for me in the business, and it's been a very positive transformation. And I'm glad that we have connected there. How does your spirituality play out in your in what you're doing today, and it's certainly as an executive producer of a potential blockbuster ready to happen?
Well, I give all of the credit to the Lord Jesus Christ. That's who I am and what I do. I am nothing without him, and I am everything with him. So to be able to continue to follow his lead, I go where he wants me to go. And that's why I never have fear when it comes to this project. It's going to happen in God's speed, the speed he wants it to go slow, or whether he wants to go fast.
Right.
And, just a real quick side story. We have a offshoot comic book being written off of it's a Warrior Island comic. One of our artists, he was a gangbanger in Wilmington, Delaware, and did some serious prison time. When he came out of prison, he learned art in prison. And when he came out of prison, he dedicated his life to the big brothers and big sisters of Wilmington, Delaware. But he's been working on his craft of comic books. He's written and drawn in some of our comics, but he was struggling in the last couple of weeks mentally, really struggling. So we came up with the idea, and I said, you know what? You need to dig into the Word. So he's now drawing our comic of David versus Goliath, Warrior Island style.
Wow.
So I've got him.
What a perfect fit.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to really illustrate the actual book of Samuel.
Wow.
And it's going to be Warrior Island style. We're not going to change the story. It's going to be the same story,
right?
But Warrior Island style. And I'm feeling really great about having a history book like the Bible being put into a comic series.
Absolutely. Look, however you can get the word out, and transform people's lives. I think that again, without James and I, we had a connection, and now we know about this, about both of our lives being transformed, and how we approach business and our relationship together. It's made it very special, James. I have to say that the Lord has brought us back together, and not that we were ever separated, but now my relationship with you is much more infused in His work, and as you said, all the glory goes to Him in all that we do. So I appreciate you sharing those personal stories with me.
No, it's most important to me now, and it's different now that I've matured. I've met the woman of for the rest of my life. She's a strong Christian, and it allows me to keep it out in front, so I feel safe wherever I go.
Well, I've been blessed. I've been with my Christian bride for 42 years. So I guess I can just say that through God, I'm just living proof that as you say, the marriage and relationships with your significant other is even better when you have the Lord driving and being
way better.
Yeah.
Way
and being the root. I know, because you and I both have had situations that weren't that way. So we can appreciate when the Lord's in charge, right?
I just noticed I got the Lord here, and I got the Grandmasters on here too. So
there you go. There you go. Well, we're a big Halloween folks here. So October is a big marketing month. So that's what my shirt has. James, I really appreciate you taking the time today. I know we're all busy on the weekend, but I really think that you've kind of laid it out, which is really what I was hoping today. There's no doubt that the passion you have for this project is off the charts. And I look at brands, and I look at the situation where now you have a home. Although I think that as you said, Warrior Island is a big project. It's going to be it certainly will be a movie someday beyond just a TV show. So congratulations. Job well done. All the glory goes to God. But I know that you have put a lot of sweat equity into this, and it's great to see your smiling face again. It's, every time I see you, I know you're smiling, and you're one of the most positive people I know in the industry, and I just appreciate you.
Well, I try, because as a warrior myself, as a fighter, I keep it positive, because the alternative is not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. Well, listen, love to your girl and you. I'm glad you guys are healthy, and I know we'll meet again on this trail to update everybody on where Warrior Island is when you start to get into season 2 and eventually get to the island.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay, thanks, James. Have
awesome
a good day. Bye-bye.